With the unveiling of Sony's new Dolby Atmos compatible soundbar, the HT-S2000, Bravia users are rejoicing all around the world. With a bunch of upgrades and classic audio performance from Sony, can the HT-S2000 be a better version of the reputable Sonos Beam Gen 2, which feels a bit too familiar in terms of specs and features? Which one should you go for? Find all that out and more in our video today. With a simple and no-frills approach for the appearance, the Sony HT-S2000 comes with a plastic mesh at the front that covers the 3.1 speaker setup and the 250-watt power supply. The black chassis comes with a relatively minimal build which seamlessly blends in with your home decor. You'll also find two inputs at the back in the form of an HDMI supporting port alongside an optical port. It's a 3.1 model that provides a clean and delicate sound from left, right, and center channels, alongside providing a booming amount of bass courtesy of built-in subwoofers. The speaker also comes with a 5-channel amp that helps the soundbar to generate an impressive 250 watts of total power output. On the other hand, the second-generation Beam from Sonos looks almost identical to its predecessors and comes bearing the same stylish aesthetic with curved edges. The only difference being now is the addition of a polycarbonate grille which makes the speaker more durable and turns cleaning into an easy chore. Under the grille lies 4 front-facing elliptical mid-woofers and a reworked center tweeter that produces crisp and clear dialogue, while the drivers are powered by 5 Class D amplifiers with 3 passive radiators. The HT-S2000 is Sony's first Home Entertainment Connect app-compatible unit that makes the otherwise complicated setup process a piece of cake. By making use of the app, not only you'll be able to glide through the initial setup steps, but you can also easily and more intuitively control the soundbar in terms of sound modes, volume, and more. However, the real magic happens when you take Dolby Atmos and DTS-X into consideration. Unlike the Sonos Beam Gen 2, Sony HT-S2000 comes with DTS-X, which could very well be one of the core reasons which anyone would prefer Sony over Sonos in this scenario. You also get S-Force Pro to surround virtual processing alongside Sony's vertical surround engine, ensuring the concept of immersion would be the least of your problems. The speaker also comes with an upmixer in the HT-S2000 which enables the soundbar to offer 3D surround sound from the regular stereo and 5.1 channel content. According to Sony themselves, the whole process of upmixing relies on a delicate algorithm that allows the soundbar to extract individual sound objects by depending on their physical location and effectively relocating them, resulting in perfectly 3-dimensional sound that'll take your immersion to the next level. In terms of connectivity, both speakers come with a single HDMI eARC port, but the lightweight advantage of Sony comes in the form of being able to rely on the USB port to utilize additional devices. Oh, lest we forget, there's also Bluetooth so you can stream music wirelessly, which is a pretty nice touch. And while one would be more or less correct to assume that Sonos is the only speaker in comparison to be able to produce a full surround system and Sony cannot, you won't be wrong. That is, up until you install a few additional upgrades such as a wireless subwoofer and a couple of wireless rear speakers. Immersion in 2023 is apparently the gold standard, and both Sony and Sonos take the term very seriously. Given Sony's track record, it won't be wrong to say that Sony designs audio peripherals that offer an exquisite auditory experience, and the HT-S2000 follows suit. With Sonos Beam, there were a lot of complaints from users where they mentioned the lack of built-in decoding for the lossless DTS-X and DTS-HD master audio formats. This lack forces the user to helplessly rely on lossy versions of DTS, which can be infuriating to say the least. However, with built-in Dolby Atmos and support for DTS-X, Sony floors a clear advantage over the Sonos Beam. It's good to keep in mind though that with Sony, Bluetooth is the only way to stream music, and while that's convenient enough, it's not the best in quality. Sonos Beam in this regard lets you stream lossless music over Wi-Fi, which is a pretty significant advantage over Sony. Now, where does this conundrum put Sony? Well, considering how most people prefer using their soundbars primarily for watching movies and TV shows, it's hard to find people who prefer to use a soundbar to experience music. But for those who do, in most cases often are satisfied with Bluetooth, since in most cases the soundbar is an optional means to enjoy music. Soundbars are mostly used in order to enjoy movies on a grand scale, and both speakers excel in this regard. However, if you prefer a bit more in terms of flexibility and wireless streaming, Sonos Beam would be an excellent pick to consider. But when you prefer a true surround sound experience with an emphasis on Dolby Atmos and support for DTS:X, as always, Sony has your back. You can get your hands on both the Sony HT-S2000 and Sonos Beam for around $499, making your preferences and needs the only factors in terms of determining which one to go with. So that was a 2 cents on Sony HT-S2000 versus Sonos Beam. Which one of these soundbars will you be going with and why? Do let us know, as we'd love to hear from you. And as for everything else, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want more content like this on your feed.